Malaysia going bankrupt just like Sri Lanka? See this Malaysia Debt counter. And is this causing more Malaysians to go bankrupt during a rising interest rate environment? Rubbish, said Tengku Zafrul on people saying Malaysia's going bankrupt just like Sri Lanka. Now there are three reasons. Yes, Malaysia does have debt. Abu then, which country does not? The issue is, does Malaysia pay its debt on time and in the amount it's supposed to? The answer is yes. Now the analogy is your credit report, CRIS or CTOS. Your credit score is high or good not because you don't have debt. Your credit score is still good when you service your debt repayments on time and no less than the amount you are supposed to pay every month. And number two, Tengku Zafrul debunked the myth that Malaysia has the highest debt in Asia. You look at this percentage of debt to gross domestic product, lower percentage is desirable. And number three, Malaysia current account balance as a percentage of the gross domestic product, higher is better. Malaysia still in the positive versus Sri Lanka in the negative. And number four is the economic structures of Sri Lanka versus Malaysia. Now you see, Sri Lanka national income is highly dependent on tourism and the remittance of Sri Lankans working overseas. People who send money back to their home country. So when the pandemic hits, the country income plunged. Sri Lanka also highly dependent on food import. On the other hand, Malaysian incomes are more diversified across oil and palm sectors, palm oil, also industrial products like top 5 glove producer around the world. We also export semiconductor equipment overseas. Plus, we produce food locally.
But Liu, why can't the government be more financially prudent? Can't it stick to habit of not spending more than it earns?
Then I ask you, why do you want to take out that 800,000 mortgage to buy a house today, plus another 200,000 personal loan just for the renovation? You cannot wait, meh? Just go and save 1 million for the next 20 years and then only go and buy a house and renovate, can or not?
Emotional damage!
So now, you know the answer already or not? You want the government to spend less money today, genius? Hey bro and sis, where do you think all these subsidies come from? Petrol subsidy, oil subsidy, and serba-serbi endless list of subsidies in Malaysia? From the sky, is it?
But Liu, even though the finance minister said like that, for a lot of Malaysians, inflation in the country sure feels like that,
And could that be just the tip of the iceberg?
Oh my god! Wow!
Because Malaysian Association of Borrowers and Consumer Solutions say as many as 30,000 Malaysians will be declared muflis on top of the tens of thousands of people who have been declared bankrupt since the pandemic began.
So Malaysia is not going bankrupt, but Malaysians are?
That is like me saying to you, I love you, but I don't like you.
What?
Boom! Here comes Bank Negara issuing an open letter to rebuke this connotation, saying, nonsense! Declining bankruptcy cases trend is on the decline for the past 5 years, says Bank Negara governor. That triggered a spicy response from the Associated Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry of Malaysia SMEs, saying the bankruptcy cases reported by Malaysian Department of Insolvency are just data manipulation.
What the hell?
Do you know that in 2016, the threshold for debt for bankruptcy court cases or proceedings was increased from 30,000 to 50,000, and then again in 2020, that threshold has been increased to 100,000. That is like I'm your teacher and you keep on failing my exam with a passing mark of 50. But 80% of you all fail the exam one. You all make me look very bad in front of the school headmaster. So what I do, I lower down the passing mark to only 10 marks. Voila, problem solved. Suddenly, 90% of you all can pass. Sounds familiar, hey? That is the sentiment here. If you put the threshold too high, the number of bankruptcy cases will become low. Of course, naturally, yet the problem is not solved. Businesses or individuals are still unable to service their loans. We should not give ourselves a pat on our back just because the number of bankruptcy statistics is declining. When the goalpost is being moved or the problem is just swept under the carpet, it's just an act of shock scenery. Also, don't forget, for the past 5 years, when bankruptcy cases are on a decline, interest rates was generally trending down. Not only in Malaysia, but in the US. But now it's trending up very fast like a rocket ship. So, they are two very different economic environments. And you know what they say, right? past performance is not an indicator of future performance. So while Finance Minister remarked on why Malaysia is not going bankrupt sounds convincing, the other argument on why OPR or interest rate hike is not causing more Malaysians to go bankrupt does leave a lot of room for heated debate and disagreement. I made this video without bias or prejudice, so let me know if you agree with me. If you disagree, that's totally fine. I would like to understand your perspective, maybe open up a dialogue with you below, so don't forget to leave your comments, yeah?